And we are finally back. We promised you a season finale 2 weeks ago. It didn't happen. Blame me. Yeah, I don't remember what I did, but it's probably my fault. Anyway, we are back now. And even though these guys have given me an excellent idea for a grand level 20 Christmas episode, I figure we'll finish up the story we started on. Does anyone remember the story we started on? No, we are definitely going to do Santa Lord of Coal level 21 shot one day. We'll see if we can fit it in this month. Because that just sounds awesome. But does anybody remember what we were doing a month ago?
Giant towers were depowering entire areas. Gylith and what's his face were going back to the castle to figure out what was going on with those, and also to try and save the day. I lost my foot because, of course, and Shivlock's character was looking after me, and I was constantly telling him, "No, you don't have to do that. Just as long as a wolf doesn't come to eat me, I'll be okay."
I believe I believe the person you're thinking of was Rattan Features.
And also, did you say Gylith and save the day in the same sentence?
That's how dire this world is right now.
So, I'm not sure. Did you actually get the power reference I made?
Mm-hmm.
To Rattan Finger.
Yup. Well, apparently our seneschal is Littlefinger, and we had a dark demon. We had darkness sitting inside of our basement that our tortoise person, our turtle released upon the world because he thought it was his friend.
Hey, he did try to reach out to a dragon. He just might have reached out to the wrong dragon. And then release it onto the world along with Eternal Night. Fortunately, though, that magic tower started sucking up Eternal Night. And so at the moment is Gylith and Vivi, who are heading back to Thieveston. Castle. I don't know if you're calling it Castle Thieveston or if you're still calling Castle Evalia in your head, because I just sort of refer to it as Castle Evalia because that was the country at the time. And then people changed the name and you adopted it.
Yeah, I would go with that. We adopted it because whereas I imagine like eventually like it's not that we wanted to change it, just where I imagine at some point like Charlie kept forgetting the name. So when it came out Thieveston, it's like, oh, that's easier.
Yeah, I imagined that we were going to change the name multiple times just because Gylith brain.
Yes.
Wait, Gylith has a brain.
Well,
he does. He doesn't use it.
You see,
he has a 10 of intelligence. Doesn't mean he uses it.
I like to think of Gylith as one of those dinosaurs that's got the forebrain and the hindbrain, but he doesn't have a tail, so there's no hindbrain. There's just the forebrain.
So does that mean that Gylith is essentially a starfish then? He's just got the ganglion in the top?
I was wondering where the fuck you were going with that.
You know, I feel that's accurate because that is how Gylith does things. Like, is this thing food? Is this thing enemy? There's a little bit of in between in that I can't eat you and I can't kill you either. Those are friends.
Yes. I'm in tears, so we're not even in the game yet.
You guys know I count that as a win right there.
Yes.
Okay, so Gylith and Vivi, you're headed back. It was when you had a skeleton ogre, it was like a 1-day trip.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to give you a choice. You're running through the Eternal Night, but that's like closing behind you. So do you run all day and night, make it in 1 day, but take a level of exhaustion, or do you travel at a reasonable pace and let the night escape you and go back to normal?
Would the fact that BV is also a ranger, and with his
you're
ranger
running
skills,
on the road. There's no way to speed that up, unfortunately.
Okay, fair enough.
And you're literally outracing some kind of weird magical thing. So
As much as I probably Jyleth will probably want to run all night, but Vivi's actually might have something to say about that. So maybe we should roleplay a bit. Roleplay that decision.
oh yeah, we can play Dungeons and Dragons if you want.
Yeah. You know, like, oh my god, here I was.
Andy's in a mood right now, and I love it.
I stole that from the C team, and I am so glad it worked. I'm hitting the clip button. I hope it captured that whole thing. If not, I'll go back and get it later.
I'm just gonna go now.
Yeah, so anyway, Jonathan has been in war, so I imagine, yeah, he's in fight or flight mode, and he's choosing the flight. So, like, there's that moment where it's like, unless there's an obstacle absolutely bringing him to a standstill, he's running.
As Vivi try to keep pace, but when he realizes it's getting dark, you see Shillelagh pop out in front of you. I think we should. I know we're time. I know we got time. Time's precious, but I think we should rest up here. We don't want to get back into the castle exhausted, especially if we have the fight.
And it's just very Giant's like nostrils are like absolutely flared. His eyes are like super wide. He's like, "Are you absolutely sure?"
99.9% certain. There's no such thing as a sure thing.
And you see Giant just collapse.
You know what Jylith needs? Jylith needs more energy.
I knew we forgot something.
What flavor is that right there, Jesse?
This is green growl, my good of choice, and not because I have a green screen and so I like to have it around.
And you too can buy a Ma Energy, support the channel, and also, unlike Jylith, not have a crash.
Because no sugar means that you're getting. I don't have my bottle in front of me, but it's a no sugar drink. It's actually, I like it better than coffee because I live in the South. It can be 110 degrees and people are still drinking boiling hot coffee. What is wrong with them?
Not me. I'm allergic to stuff.
That's because you're British through and through.
Okay, Jylith just collapsed.
Vivi's gonna look around. Basically try and roll Jylith onto a tree.
Yeah.
You know what? I just want a strength check for fun.
Yeah, great.
What muscle do I pull this morning?
Okay.
This could also be an athletics check, I suppose, but I don't know if that gives you any bonus.
Nope.
Okay.
Hang on. Can I use guidance?
Sure.
God,
Say
give
like,
me
how do I
strength.
roll this guy?
Unnatural 20.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna say that because of the guidance, you realize you need leverage. You use your shillelagh as a lever to kind of flip him over
Yeah.
a few times. Finally, he lands in the ditch, and then you go like, "Oh, I better flip him over so he doesn't drown in a puddle."
Yeah. Vivi jumps up, gets up a tree, and just basically sleeps in the tree.
Okay, and yeah, the night will pass like that. Now, Joseph, you are probably nearly passed out because of pain and the adrenaline rush wearing off. You regain nothing from a long rest except for the fact that you don't have exhaustion. Your health does not replenish. For you two, you are further away from the incident. So when you wake up, it's a nice fall morning. There's some mist on the ground, but it's natural mist, not scary mist. And it's, for a moment, you're like, this isn't like Thieveston Fall where it's already, bare trees and kind of spooky. This is the leaves starting to turn that pretty orange color.
Ah, I haven't seen these sort of colors since I play Wild. And he hops down. You okay there, Joe?
Is it gonna have the mode like every time you try to talk to him, he's like at that early stage of exhaustion where he can't make words, he just makes grunts, so he just
The evil's not smelling salts. Here you are.
That's I have to ask, since you're a ranger, what the fudge is your version of smelling salts?
A combination of herbs.
What kind of herbs again? You're a ranger.
Herbs, a variety of various stimuli.
Thank you.
Do we need to roll for a constitution check with these?
I was going to do it myself if you were not going to call for one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here,
then.
chew this handful of leaves. It will make you more energized.
Yeah, we'll keep playing Dungeons and Dragons all day.
Not 20s it. It's a total of 25.
Giles, you described to me how you react to these things. And
so I imagine he just first takes a whiff of these herbs. One is not a smell he's ever smelled. It is like beyond like foul at first. Then I imagine for just a moment, he's just an absolute sincerity. He is new, reborn, reforged by the gods themselves, and rebought forth as the new Giles 2.0. And he just like,
I'm hitting clip a lot today.
Better?
Much.
Let's go.
That was powerful stuff. That wasn't red dust. Just
No, it wasn't.
Oh, thank God.
It's a oral stimuli, like based on my own concoction of herbs and various leaves.
You need to talk to my chef, assuming that we live from this.
Yeah, big assumption here. Oh, and by the way, Joel, if it looks like we're dying, I will leave you to die.
Fair.
And I wouldn't hold it against you if you did the same to me.
Fair.
Onwards, buttercup, the fuckery to be spread.
I almost imagine you jumping on his shoulders and saying that.
Sure,
with the Shirley, mush.
And that's exactly what happens.
Giles, give me an athletics check.
Gladly.
I guidance you. The shillelaghs hit you with guidance.
So add a D4.
All right. So that's a total of 27.
Giles, you narrate this one, please, because
so Giles is in 2.0 mode. So I imagine now before he was like full on like running but making sure he didn't trip, but now he's like dashing like he's never dashed before, almost to the point where it's like as if his armor was no longer there and he was just going like $1 million man just running through the forest.
Yep. Giles,
so like his pace is still the same,
steed.
but he is like beyond focus. He can see every leaf in the tree. He can perceive everything, even though he is dashing for at least a moment that he believes to himself.
Yep. You're just running. A wild animal comes out. You just hurtle over it. Don't even slow down. The cheetah's like, what the hell is that?
Did you say Vegeta? No, that's generally what I heard.
Cheetah.
Oh, cheetah.
Let's not. Let's not cross universes. That's
yeah.
Okay, it's maybe the season finale, but let's not end that way.
So anyway, you run at top speed the whole way, and you come across the sign that says, Thieveston, like half mile this way. You're running at full speed. And when you get there, it's an abandoned fort. I don't mean like the town of Thieveston. I mean like this was a military fort that was probably left alone like 50 years ago.
Hmm.
So I imagine Gilith brings it to a the calming stop as best he can, and I'm willing to make a roll if I have to on that.
You know what? You pick the roll because there's too many possibilities.
All right, I'll say strength saving because it's a sudden. He's trying to bring it down to a stop.
Okay, I was going to go with that or dexterity, but
Dexterity's if he fails.
yeah, that's fair.
To determine how far the ranger gets catapulted beyond the moon.
Whee!
That's fair. Boy, I hope in that one.
All right, that'll be 24 total.
Okay, so you are able. I think your stop is that you just jump and like do a slide as your feet like slight crater.
Yeah, and I just reach back and just grab the ranger as if like any kind of brace.
Yeah, basically,
I act like a seatbelt.
Yeah. And in your stopping, you create like a divot or a bump. Basically, a speed bump has formed where you stopped.
Yes, exactly.
With that, Phoebe hops off, walks up, and says, "Good job, here's cookie."
Thank you. We hope you enjoyed your ride. Keep your arms inside the legs outside of the rise, and make sure you walk. Do not run outside of the vehicle. And we hope you enjoy the rest of your day here in Evalia.
Noted.
Okay. I realize I haven't been on the ball about trying to get people to, promoting the trick rolls, but everyone's done a good job. Everybody gets a trick roll instead of inspiration today. There's just been too much shenanigans I can't avoid. You
Shenanigans.
I sing that to myself actually with shenanigans.
I just
Okay.
I had this view of Gilith doing this entire thing like Ace Ventura 2 when Ace is running around with Shikaka, just holding up Vivi. Shikaka.
Well, if it went badly, it would have been that way. Like with the herbs, it made it. Yeah, if the herbs went bad, then that's definitely what he would have been doing.
My face is melting. No, it's not. My face is melting.
No, Vivi's face is melting.
The moment.
No, pulls his mask off. Too late for that.
I can taste electricity. You're a blue dragonborn.
Vivi, pick up my face. It fell on the ground.
I feel
All right,
grounded.
so anyway, I assume this is like the first time Gilith has seen this fort, right?
Yes.
Can we take a quick look in?
Might as well. We need it. And just very quick look back and see if there's immediate danger before it proceeds.
No, it's like I said, the morning fog is burnt off now, but it's normal, which is abnormal.
If anything, let's investigate this area, because if it's clear, we'll just move on our way. But if there's something here,
we deal with it.
Yeah.
Also, this is really nice weather. I don't trust it.
And we be very, very careful.
Let us go.
All right. I approach the fort stealthily.
As do
Okay.
I.
Clang.
Yeah, exactly. The best I can with the armor I'm wearing.
I'm not even going to ask for a roll. You guys just narrate how you think you're approaching stealthily.
I mentioned Vivi goes first and Gilith mimics.
Yeah, pretty much. Vivi basically swiftly but cautiously ducks into various points, making still see around him, but also even hide as he can.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Using his high levels of investigation.
So you're kind of like jumping from like the broken wall to the building, taking a look around, make sure. Then you jump to the next one, dive through a window, somehow pop out another window.
Yeah.
And like Giles, there's like every foot, like any kind of footprint. He puts that same foot down where where Vivi steps. So he tries to mimic to the best of ability the same movement.
I imagine, but it's like a quarter of the speed though.
Oh, but of course, yes.
One is swift like the shadow. The other one's like clink, clink, hopscotch.
It just pure bag of quarters as he's going through the journey.
I can imagine that he's whispering into himself as well. The floor is lava. The floor is lava.
No, it's
Yeah, if Vivi's doing that, Jaya has to be like, all right, this is a ranger thing. I guess we gotta do. To be honest, you're the first. You're like the first ranger he has encountered in like who knows how many years. So it's just like, all right, it's been a while, so I gotta relearn how they do this.
Giles, you're Kronk.
I was waiting for someone to say that. Thank you.
Da, 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 da.
I'm sorry, it took me a solid 10 seconds to realize what the fudge you meant by that. It's just like, what degree?
So I haven't even seen the movie, but I know that scene.
Yes.
Sorry, I have to take a moment to say this. I love you guys.
Yes.
We
All right.
are delightful in our own way.
All right. So anyway, how's Joseph doing?
No, Wolf, I questioned my sanity occasionally. Then I looked at you guys and go, I am fine.
Yeah. Hi, my name's Andy Johnson from Warp Films and Trick Roll. I am your baseline sanity meter. If I seem normal to you, you're in trouble. Go see a doctor. But if you think I'm weird, you're okay.
The more you know.
Oh,
Anyway, how's Joseph doing while we're doing our thing?
What we do in the shadows, nobody will ever know about, but there might be a documentary film crew that finds us sometime.
I want Joseph
You already
to
have
make
the
a,
Scrying Orb, which I'm pretty sure Giles just long forgotten about. It's just an autopilot following him.
yeah. Yeah, there's somebody out there in the world of Aerith that's like, this guy's just fucking insane. Give me the popcorn.
Yeah, and that's why I imagine that's why the princess keeps coming back, because he's never disengaged the orb, so it's just constantly there showing up where he is at all times.
She knows how. Yeah, she's able to watch you guys and plan.
Yeah.
Her plans haven't been great. Like she literally just throw on a robe.
She's like, all right, this
hello, I am an old woman. I want to live in your castle.
It was one of those moments where it's like, I know where they are. My time to strike.
Yes. Yeah. So Joseph, give me a Constitution roll. Let's see if you've woken up yet.
19.
Oh, yeah. You totally just you come to, and I'm trying to remember what these guys are called. Let me do a search over here because Andy didn't actually plan for things.
We win.
The feeling's mutual.
Yeah.
And I just
I know it's like, okay, we escaped from the tower. What happens next? Wasn't expecting any of this.
Yeah. It's like I can make all the plans in the world, but then you guys will just do whatever it is you're going to do.
Indeed.
Okay, Giles, not Giles, Joseph. I swear, next game, everyone's gonna have to pick a different letter for their name.
Yes, exactly.
It's gonna be rule. Andy's rule 1. Pick a different letter of the alphabet.
That'd be a weird.
If
like
somebody-
for any new players, they'll find that it's a weird house rule. Like, what do you mean my character name has to be a different letter than another? And it's just like, let me tell you.
If somebody is looking at Joseph right now as he wakes up, what they'll see right next to him is there's like 4 little figures, one of each of the team. And Janlos is like posed like this mighty hero. Gylith is like holding up this wrestling belt over his head. Vivi's got this giant stick, and he's looking threatening at somebody, like as if he's an old person telling them to get off his lawn.
One of those moments these wrestling belts like don't help me, Kyle. I can see it right over there.
I just have to ask one question. Have you been carving these in your spare time, or did you have them?
Carving them in his spare time. Also, it's a good way to get rid of, thoughts about pain, and
No,
especially
I just wanted to know, so that way, because I have an idea for something somebody said on another group channel and I misread it, and I had this image and I'm just going to take a moment to describe it now, so that way somebody can remind me of it later. But it's an adventurer who is also his own self-promoter, and he will set up a booth and sell action figures of himself. And
we need this. We
you're
need
on your way now.
We need Paul Bearer. We need Paul Bearer for Gylith.
No, the last thing I need is a Paul following me.
Oh. Okay.
As a former wrestling fan, thank you. As an actual player D&D, no.
No. This is going to be someone that we're going to meet, because eventually I'm going to make this as a character, which means I don't get to play, so he'll be an NPC. Anyway, Joseph, you've been up. You're carving these figures. You're setting them all up. I don't know if you have a paint set. Maybe you've already painted your figures.
Oh, of course, yes. It's like
Sweet
considered
Moses.
part of his staple of little things. He's like got these little miniatures as well of our two former party members that are like dressed up in angel uniforms, but with giant weapons and spell scrolls around them. He's just like making little miniatures. It's like a Warhammer 40k army out of the group.
We're gonna have to get you.
I was afraid of that.
We're gonna have to get you animate objects just so you can bring them to life later on. Anyway, while you're doing that, all of a sudden you start realizing that you're not alone, because these little they're medium-sized constructs, but they're like an orb with an eye and a couple of like little metal wings, thin arms and legs, are sort of like popping out of seemingly you can't see the portal, but obviously they're jumping out of a portal. There's about 3 of them, and they start walking around the tower. They kind of have like their own language. It's, for you, is almost like binary Morse code beeps or clicks.
Can I make an Arcana check?
Yes, you can.
Actually, no, not an Arcana check, a religion check.
I'll take either one.
4.
Or you are being visited by the tiniest angels. Well, not the tiniest. They're smaller ones. I forget. These guys are not small, but yes, you're being visited by mechanical angels, and this tower is clearly their temple.
Oh dear Lord, you Funny thing is that yes, angels are described this way.
Yes,
So, yeah. Just
but anyway,
looking up from my whittling and going, can I help you?
they ignore you.
I get up and kind of hobble my way over, or like hop along Cassidy in the middle of, the desert waiting for water. May I help you?
I'm double checking. Yep, they continue speaking their language, and they pay you no mind.
I go up to the metal tower, I take out my dagger, and I try to scratch into the actual side of it.
No significant damage done.
No reaction from them either.
No, maybe they might look at you, but they don't care. One of them seems to be writing some sort of report based on what the other ones are telling them.
Can you explain what's going on here?
You're asking them that, not me, right?
No, I stopped asking you that question long ago, man.
Good.
There's no way that any of us can tell that. I'm
But
asking them
I
that.
love the tone of Andy. He's like, you're not asking me, right? Love that.
After a few minutes, they start to jump back into their invisible portal, and
I will
Grimthorn.
charge as soon as they start jumping into this invisible portal. If I start seeing them just like slide through, I'm just gonna jump in after them.
I want
Or at
you to
least
make
attempt to.
an athletics check at disadvantage.
Don't need to make the other roll.
That one.
Okay. Do you want to describe how this ends?
Well, do you want me to go into the portal, or do you want me to not fall? Do you want me to not be in the portal?
You know, if you rolled a 1, I will let you decide, because either way, you know I'm going to twist it.
Gyleth,
Let's do it.
evens or odds?
I call for odds.
We are odd.
So, Joseph is kind of hobbling along. Joseph is hobbling along, and he's kind of limp running. You know how you see people with casts do when they're really in a hurry, but they can't find their crutches. And then he starts to jump forward and kind of trips up on his own foot and falls through the portal face first, slamming his face into the ground on the other side, completely knocking himself out cold.
Oh.
Because you specified knocking yourself out cold. We will come back to you. Joseph, Gyleth, and Vivi, how goes your search of the fort?
Right, so I imagine by now we're in, so now it's just like, what, what do we see in any kind of roles that are needed?
No, there's no rolls needed. It's empty. I mean, like, most of the time in an abandoned fort, somebody eventually kind of moves in, whether it's like bandits or goblins or just weird pseudo adventuring kids that think that this is our kingdom and we shall, but then they go home for lunch.
So, like what we're doing with Castle Valia.
Yes. I thought of that as soon as I was saying it, but this time there's no one here. It's obviously this place hasn't been touched in decades.
He looks over his shoulder, points up, and goes to go up to the top so he can get a look around the area.
Okay.
All right. Just let me decide something. The watchtower is intact, but it's missing a few rungs. But what's your dexterity?
16.
Oh yeah, you'll be able to hop over any missing spots. So it takes you a moment, but you're able to climb up.
Vivi looks around, takes off his mask for a second, so his hood, so he his vision is at full. And he looks around, see if there's anything of note in the area from this vantage point.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. Okay, may I guidance?
Sure. Go
That's
ahead
a
and
20.
just assume that you can do that unless it's like spur of the moment and you just can't apply it to someone.
Sure thing. That is 28 to my
28?
perception.
Yeah. Everything seems natural and normal. I mean, the one thing I'll say that you do pick out with that is that, you do see like the graveyard for this fort, and it's sort of surrounded by, shadowy trees. Maybe that was something intentionally done to sort of separate the graveyard from the rest of the people. Those tend to be a little bit more either reverent or we don't want to think about it situations.
Hmm.
Everything else, there's, and for I think for this like the first time in Vivi's life, quite possibly, there's nothing scary around here.
Huh. So this is what calm scenery is like. Huh. It's weird. Don't like it. Question: how far away is Castle of Valia supposed to be?
Oh, based on you knowing the area, you should be in it right now.
Ah,
It's like when you've been to a place enough times, you just sort of know the route. Even if you have to take a back road, you still know where you're going.
Mhm.
You should be totally. This should be the heart of the city right now.
Joyleth,
Yeah.
aren't we supposed? Isn't if my geographical knowledge of the area is correct, wouldn't shouldn't we be in a Castle of Valia by now?
I suppose I have not exactly gone through the complete geography of the land.
Where is it?
Some distance that way.
Okay. I think it's gone.
Something is indeed off.
We can't take a month off, guys. I can't handle you guys after with just 1 month at a time. It's concentrated then.
So as far as like Gila's like is taking all this in, and it is the moment of just like that moment just says that moment where he just tries to see if he can feel any connection to like the shadows at all, like if they communicating, or does he feel like he's just 100% himself again?
That actually is a good one. Which attribute do you feel the shadows are most connected to? And I want you to make a check with that.
I since they keep working with wisdom, so I would say that's my go-to.
That would be my choice, but I always like to double check with you guys. As long as you didn't try to say it was your strength, because that just
No, I will
They are
punch
in
the
my
ground
muscles.
until I see shadows no more. All right, that is a 12 on wisdom.
Oh yeah, you are a perfectly normal shadow, a perfectly normal dragonborn who has no connection to the darkness at all.
I just imagine just for Vivi, you like if you have a turn of look at Giant, you see Giant just kind of stand there and just Giant is a very loud person. So for him to be quiet,
I'm worried.
yeah, it's like either you Amber's your first initial thought, like, okay, did a straight arrow, just hit him in the head, and that's why he's quiet. And you just see him just standing there. And just like it looks like it's just a moment where it's just like he is like straight face, but he's like deep in thought.
I just want to say that we've been playing for since February in this particular world. You guys have taken over a haunted castle. You fight unicorn fairies on a daily basis, and this is the thing that freaks you out.
Well, just the moment where like it was kind of the new normal. So when the new normal just suddenly stops.
Yeah. It's like you just took all this with stride, but like I gotta think about this.
Joyleth, as you saw down, he's rushing down. You okay there?
And it just be that moment where he'll very calmly, yeah. I'm just going through a feeling I've not felt in what seems to be years.
Enlightenment?
You could say that. Yeah. You can slow down.
Actually, quick questions. Has Joyce ever seen VV?
We've seen it at breakfast a few times.
Because you have to eat at some point, yeah. But I imagine just
Yeah,
Yes. Last time we played, you actually did remove your mask.
yeah. I was still checking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, I'm not sure what to do. My magical power is limited, and I could delve into some knowledge, but my knowledge of the magic that was around the Valia is I didn't get to do much research.
You have already established that you are sort of, a planar traveler, or at least,
Yeah. Yeah.
the two. So I'll let you make an Arcana check.
Okay. 18.
18. There's something about that, the shadows on that graveyard that have a very strong feeling for you. You're fairly certain that there's probably a shadow crossing around there somewhere.
Jareth, I might have a solution to our situation. He puts his mask on, puts his hood up. Come with me, and he goes to the graveyard.
Jyla follows.
So
You look,
with your 18, it'll take you a few minutes, but yes, you find a crossing.
as I expected. There's a crossing here. You coming?
Lead the way.
It's an open grave.
Vivi hops down, not even batting an eyelid.
Okay. So, Giles, you hop down with them?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the way I imagine this grave is, it's like the graveyard is already overgrown with grass. It hasn't been kept in a while. And this is probably like a one that somebody dug, but then never needed. And the way the trees are set up, there's like two shadows crossing it at the same point. That's sort of, where you can feel the energy. So you dive in. And when you look back up, you're still in a grave, but now it's that dark Evalia sky you're used to.
Home sweet home. He climbs out.
You are back in Evalia, or Thieveston as it is currently called.
Mhm.
The people wandering by are gaunt. And Vivi, you know that this is what people in
Barovia.
yes, this is basically, they had that same look to them. These guys are just going through their motions. They look at you. It's just like hollow eyes that they see you. They don't care. They just keep on going about their day.
Since they don't care, Vivi's goes, Vivi is going to basically say good morning in Infernal to them, just because.
That gives you a couple of odd looks, but nobody responds.
Yeah. Well, I suggest we get to the castle.
Agreed.
Okay. So, yep, it doesn't take you long at all to get there. Again, this time when you're traveling by, your residents just look less healthy than they have, and well, since you've ever known them. You do see a few people who, these are the ones you recognize as the thieves who were coming. They look healthier, but they're wandering around like they're lost, but they don't have the energy to care that they're lost, if that makes sense.
So mean on a daily basis.
Sure. But less energetic than you.
Like,
I was gonna say high schoolers, but okay.
Yes. These are the goth kids at high school. Only I think goth kids in this day and age at least have a more personality. These are old school goths.
Yeah.
These are the Goths when I went to school.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, you'll see like fields that are be like somebody's tending the field, but he's not really moving past the one spot. He just keeps raking the over and over again. The people are collecting the food, but they're not doing anything with it, just walking it to a point, dumping it into a pile, and then they just go back, and maybe somebody picks up some of the pile and brings it back to the field for some reason. So that's going on all around you. You do see the tavern, and the tavern is not far from the castle.
This is odd.
Fine,
Gareth?
odd.
Well, this place is odd naturally speaking, but how they're looking, it seems a little off even for them.
I feel it too.
Maybe it's that eternal darkness thing coming. I think we should go speak to the wizard. And
Seems
hopefully,
that way.
our shenanigans, my previous shenanigans don't get us killed.
So you're heading straight for the castle?
Yeah, we
Okay.
need to speak to the wizard because
Okay. Yep. You head inside the castle. Obviously, you know, the guard there doesn't try to stop you. You are the king after all. You have the crown. You
Yes.
walk straight in. What do you do?
I imagine as he takes a couple of steps in just for just a way of reassurance. Others?
It takes a moment. Vivi, your passive is really high, correct? Your passive
Yes, it is.
perception.
yes, it
You
is.
hear it first. The slow shuffling footsteps. Coming, my lord. Withers eventually takes him like 5 minutes, but he comes walking through the door,
So this is wizard.
more so than normal. While he's always been like thin, he could at least stand up straight and look down his nose no matter how tall you were. Now he's hunched over. It's like, yes, my lord.
Giles at the moment just wants to like is like immediately concerned, so like meets to his like eye level, like Withers. Do you recognize me?
Of course, my lord.
What happened? Everything's changing.
Yes, that is to be expected, my lord.
To be expected? What do you mean?
We are back in our realm, sir.
Your realm?
What realm is that?
He kind of looks at you, and there's that slight annoyance of a butler who is having to speak to a commoner. He turns back to Giles. We are now home again, sir.
But you're would take no level of offense, Withers, but you're in worse condition you were before. So how are you home?
Yes, sir. The well is currently empty, sir. It will refill in time.
Vivi's trying to rack his brains to figure out what the hell is going on.
Yeah,
And-
because
and-
none of you ever question the nature of the castle. You don't know.
Yeah. So I just imagine like Giles just like puts a hand like to Vivi and just like
So she nods worry cautiously.
So this well you speak of, is it like a source of power for this place?
Of course, sir.
What do I need to fill it?
Chaos. So the well was emptied out when our anchor was called away, and we were pulled back to here, and it took all the energy with it. It will refill in time.
Okay. I appreciate you answering my questions. You you can't even say the words "I release you." It is where you may carry on.
Thank you, my lord. And he begins to shuffle away very slowly. It'll take him 5-10 minutes just to leave the room. The door opens. And he shuffles through.
Yeah. So, like Giles just waits.
Click. Click.
Sorry, BV. Needless to say, I'm as if this land is in pain. I'm feeling this pain right now, and I needed to make sure that Withers was going to be okay.
Sure. If you pats him on the back. For us, I can somewhat empathize. Let's get this over and done with. Because hopefully we can get it everything sorted out.
Like Withers said, the well will be filled in time. Which I do trust his word on that. But the land is going to be suffering until the time being. And I'm sure you saw it too.
Yeah, I saw it. And I'm not a stranger to suffering.
I understand. So, needless to say, I'm not gonna order you to help me insist anything on this. You do have your free will in these lands, but
Well,
as a friend, if needless to say, this place has become my home. As weird as this place has been, it has become a part of me, and right now that part of me is in pain.
I'll do what I can.
Thank you.
Right.
Anyway.
What next? What next?
Well, I dared not ask Withers what he meant by filling with chaos, because I feared, knowing this land, I didn't want to know the answer of what that is. So I'm going to trust his word, but I want to ensure that at least I can at least help during the suffering at this point.
Mm.
At this moment, I do not know what exactly that is, but I just want to ensure the people that the king is present and is with his people.
So hopefully your presence will reassure them.
Yes, and I don't want to just be, and I don't want to be one of those kings that just sits on a throne and just waits for things to be done. I'm gonna just go around the town to see if there's anything we can do to help, and if no one says they need help, then at least my presence is known.
Well, for what it's worth, you're a better rule than the last rule I was under.
Indeed.
Anyway, that's enough of the sappiness. Let's get to work.
Yeah, let's just make a patrol around the town and just see what we can find.
Sure thing.
All right. I feel like this would be a charisma check from Giles to empathize with his people.
I'll
let you have it at advantage because you are showing a lot of concern for these weirdos.
And I'm glad to see every chance they get.
All right, rolling. All right, that's going to be 18 total for
18?
sympathy roll.
Okay. Yeah. The most of the people, we're going to say the residents of the land, they don't. I mean, they'll talk to you when you speak to them, but they have no
Yeah.
needs. They're content. They are happy. No, they don't even use the word happy. They are they are I can't even say fulfilled. They
They
just
are
have
fine.
nothing they need. There's nothing that they want. There is nothing to do.
They
So
subsist.
that would be the best way to phrase it.
Yeah. So it's so like like if anyone just says that, he'll just simply like the simple like your king is with you. Have a nice day.
And that sort of confuses them for a moment, but then they just continue on with their
Yeah, because I imagine every ruler has never showed this level of affection.
Yeah, that's fair. that is fair.
I
That is
imagine
a
every day they waking up from the castle, fear me, and it was like, yes, my lord.
yeah, I would say that in the rare time when there is a ruler who actually cares about his people, it brings them great joy and hope.
Yeah.
These people have no hope though, but they
Yeah.
acknowledge that you are there.
Yeah.
If you make your way back around to the tavern, and you'll see that I don't think it's ever really shown up before, but the tavern is just the sign says Hope's Inn Tavern. And if you go in there, you have the bartender who, despite being, frail, is still a large man, because every bartender has to be like 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, but somehow he makes it look unhealthy, like not obese, unhealthy. It's
Yeah.
like he has a large frame, but there's nothing on the frame. Again, I don't know
Gotcha.
how to describe it, but he's just there.
Gaunt.
But still hefty. He's a 6 foot tall, thin man.
Yeah.
He's
He's a
large.
dad botted. We've got a dad bod on this bartender, don't we?
I would say dad bod at least implies that you are capable of running after a child.
Yeah.
He is Lurch, but not with that shine that Lurch brought to the room.
Gotcha.
I know, and I meant what that contradiction 100%. So he's
Yeah.
just there washing the glass for like 10 minutes. In the corner where he always is Gallows, who actually looks up to you. The king has returned.
Gallows, don't take this the wrong way. I almost completely forgot about you, old friend.
It's just part of being here.
Is any of these seats taken by chance?
You literally see all of them empty.
Exactly. So, well, I don't know. It's like that moment. We're still in the land of
He's
shadows.
like,
You don't know.
Do you see anybody sitting in them?
No, wanted to make sure. Because,
Yeah,
Don't-
this place does mess with the outsiders.
indeed. I've heard the legends.
And he'll just take a seat.
And yet you persist. Most people who hear the legends run away as fast as they can. You're either extremely brave or a complete moron.
Ruthiol.
Trust me, I get it. And needless to say, it's just I've come attached to this place, as foolish as it seems.
You do wear the crown.
Indeed.
Give it another couple of decades, you won't be an outsider anymore.
Indeed. And it's where it's just kind of reminisces, just where and now just kind of reminiscing since the start of the adventure now, like as far as he came.
So, Gallows, I don't say this often, but
I'm just been curious, like
through like have you been like a resident here, or you been a traveler? Because I'm sure you've seen like the many past rulers come and go.
My situation is unique, even around the Shadowfell. I live here, but I'm not from here. So I'm a little bit more immune to this place. You see, the hopeless, well, there are the hopeless. I'm dead.
Yes,
There's nothing for me. So even hopelessness can't touch me.
I see. So that does explain why you still got a bit of spry in you. Well, everyone else seems to be
Oh yeah,
less than a normal.
your minister of information really brought in a bunch of new residents, and I'd say they're acclimating very quickly. As you see, like one of the non-residents kind of like walks in, has a seat, but doesn't even bother to order anything.
Mhm.
And then, and as to which, like, is it like he just been sitting there, or does he have to clear like a plate or like mug anywhere? Like, is
Oh,
show
no,
any sign
there's
they ordered food?
If there's anything left over, it's clearly not something that anybody's eating. It's like, you know, it's probably just been left there for a while. Nobody's picked it up
Oh,
yet.
gotcha.
So anyway, it was nice to see a familiar face, and it's just really great to see you again.
I have literally never heard that said to me before.
And allow me to be the first.
I just have this one question out of character. You mean Gallows has been hanging around this place this entire time and nobody has ever said that to him? Nobody's decided to be a hanger-on of Gallows?
Mm-hmm.
You do remember that Gallows is the guy who, when he takes a puff from his pipe, the smoke comes out of his rib cage. So
Yes, I remember
no,
this.
no one has ever said, Gallows, I'm glad to see you.
So nobody wants to hang around Gallows.
No
He
one
has
really
a noose around his neck, not because he's making a statement, but because you think that's probably how he died.
That's just how he hangs.
Like,
So
I'm
like,
so glad you're unconscious, so I can't punish you for that.
so Giles would just simply like, wish his good wills and then just excuse himself from the table.
BV gives a nod to Gallows, follows behind Giles.
Sorry, Vivi, that was, I would say, reconnecting with an old friend, but it was more reconnecting with a familiar face than a friend.
I in my line of business, I'm well aware of those ties.
Anyway, we should wrap our patrol. Let's head back.
Yeah, nothing will impede your travel. You can make it back to the castle.
All right, next thing on the agenda, I believe we have to go speak to Wizard Man.
Indeed.
Let's
I
see
think we
what-
stalled enough time. There's a good time
Yeah.
to get reconnect there.
Yeah.
Prophecy the wizard.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I was gonna make a Spider-Man reference, but never mind.
All right, so you're heading to where Grimthorn's lab was in the castle.
Yes.
I will say the first thing that's going to stand out is that the rooms seem to be in a natural layout.
Okay, this is a.
Sorry, that is not a common phrase. We've been playing.
I think that just broke us.
Seems to be normal.
I think that's going to break us.
Under floorboards.
Like, is it meals? Is it easy to actually navigate this place?
It's at this moment. It's not a welcome change.
It's like,
It's convenient, but it's not welcome.
this is odd. like, and that coming from this place, that's saying something.
Yeah, so like because if you look at Giles, it just looks like he's in a constant state. It's like his face, like he's just every step is like he's stepping in syrup. It's like,
Again,
No.
I love that's the thing that freaks you guys out.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I'm not sure. My tracking skills vastly improved since this place.
I
I'm
know.
actually feel. Let's go then.
Yes.
That
Please
that way,
hurry.
that way, and it literally is that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't have to jump through closets. We don't have to like put our arm through a window to find a latch, or we don't.
I had to run through the ceiling at one point.
I had to say the ABCs backwards to get a door open one time.
That was the worst.
I was there for
trick
2 hours.
Ever. Oh.
Like I was half expecting to have to recite quadratic equations. Please don't. I don't. Oh, she doesn't know quadratic.
Oh no, that would have been
equations.
too orderly. that
Yeah.
might have been divided by 0 inside this plane.
Oh,
And
let's not-
you know
don't
what
remember-
happens when you divide by 0 in this place?
Let's not mention divided by 0 for the washes.
So you make your way to the doorway that you remember being the entrance to Grimthorne's lab. It opens
not-
without trouble into a pantry.
Hungry?
It's mostly flour mill in here.
Hungry?
Silas closes his door and then reopens it.
Same thing.
Close it. Knocks on it 3 times. Opens it.
Same thing.
Fuck.
Closes it.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
And then opens the door.
Yeah, we both open the door this time.
A large rat pokes his head out of a bag, looks at you, squeaks, and runs away.
At least someone was here.
I pray that's not the wizard that's running away.
No, I might be the druid though.
Okay. So there's still a little bit of chaos still left in this castle.
I think the little bit of chaos in this castle was us.
The rat does stop to flip you off before running through a hole.
Yep, we're still here.
He's like, thank you. Like,
We close the door and it's just like,
Well,
well, the wizard's not here. Shit.
And it's then that we flip over to Joseph, who is waking up. You don't have any of your weapons, obviously, because you're in a cage. And Grimthorne is reading a book in the corner.
You're not at the castle.
Clearly.
Checks everything on him. And I've got no weapons on me.
Clearly. I question how you were even able to activate the towers. You're barely a functioning adult.
So are most people in their 30s, but really society continues to carry on.
No comment.
In my 40s and I'm barely functioning. But Grimthorne never even looks at you. He's still just reading through his pages.
Fiction or nonfiction?
Theoretical.
So nonfiction, but fiction. Okay, I can deal with that. I can dig that.
I'm already questioning why I didn't drain what little essence you have. Other than the fact it would probably be more effort to take it from you. He finally does turn to look at you, and for the first time, he's not wearing all of the bandages and appliances that he normally has on. So you basically see a clockwork lich.
Is this supposed to intimidate me, or is this supposed to be just you being open and honest with me?
I don't have any point in hiding anything from you any longer. You are no longer matter. Outside of the vague curiosity as to how you got here exactly.
There was a door. No, wait, that was a floor.
If it is possible for a lich, with no face to look like he's losing his patience, like the little eyepiece that he has is just like twitching.
Is this because I couldn't keep anybody out of your room?
Well, that does answer one question. I assume this was more of an accident, but it is one that I can work with.
Maybe sneezes.
Okay, so things that I've been able to put together since being in the cage. You're actually probably a part of this entire dimension that I'm now inside of. The 3 little Metabot things that came out to look at your tower were probably connected into something as well, because they were speaking in a language that I've never run into before, and I've run into quite a few. So you're either taking from the clockwork cogs that are a part of you. You're either like some sort of trap spirit with an entire order base, and you're trying to bring order to the chaos that is the dimension that we somehow managed to find a warp hole into, or you're just trying to make things normal and keep people from being dicks to each other.
Completely wrong on every count. First off, we are in the material plane. You just happen to jump through a portal. You knocked yourself out, and I am question how you've even lived this long if you're capable of doing that. I am responsible for the towers, but I am not seeking to actually I am seeking to restore something, but that something is not order. Chaos is a part of life, and it cannot be undermined no matter how hard anyone tries. In fact, the more you try to harness the chaos, the more you're going to lose your grip on it, like clutching sand in a fist.
Okay, so I apparently have nowhere else I'm going to go. You have a lot of time to pretty much kill before you kill me. Why don't you at least tell me what your deal is as to why you're doing this?
I am going to rewind time and set something straight. After which, all of the evil I have done will be undone and will no longer matter. The reason I'm not killing you is because I was curious how you got the tower activated ahead of schedule. If you tell me that, I will release you. The tower will eventually drain your life, but it will honestly take it's just more effort to kill you than it is to wait for you to die. I would tell you not to worry, because once I have completed my objectives, you will live and never have met me, and it will not matter.
Can you tell me who their names are and who they were?
There is an honest to God pause while he completely freezes up. Like, even there's been like a constant tick around him. Even that seems to stutter for a second. No, that is unnecessary information. I had hoped to drain the power from your castle, because that quite possibly would have been enough. It is hard to find a sleeping dragon after all. Now I will just have to resort to the towers and drain everything. It will take time, but it will just require more power for more time is all. How did you start the tower?
I don't even know that.
Of course you don't.
Okay, you're asking for understanding from a person of which you actually know doesn't fully understand how things that you are operating with work.
I thought you would remember the actual actions that you took. Apparently, I overestimated you in that regard.
You're kind of thinking that I'm the one that took the actions to the first place.
Were you there when the tower started? Your injured foot suggests that you were, unless you just see moving gears and kick them. I think I just answered my own question.
I'm glad I'm not there.
I expected this from the
didn't-
Dragonborn.
Why do you think Gileth has me? It's so that he can actually have me do the stupid things, and he can look like the intelligent one when things go off right.
There is so much sarcasm in his silence right now.
Even the silence is judging me. Look, I get it. I am not the most intelligent cookie in the pantry. Moving a cog sets off an entire reaction, which pushes everything forward. When you've got exposed cogs, those things can happen. What I wasn't expecting in regards to this was the fact that what you're doing is going to end up destroying a future for a timeline so that you can go back to have a past with those who didn't get their future.
You can't destroy the future. It doesn't exist.
No. You can. Think
He
of it like
holds
this.
up the book that's this thick and says, which one of us has literally read the book on the subject? I have spent millennia studying this.
No. You say that what you're reading is theoretical. Therefore, it in and of itself is a type of theory, a type of fiction, just a thought. Here's another thought. What if it's like a branching tree? You have a main timeline that is like a trunk, and then everything else branches out from that. What if what you're actually doing is killing the trunk?
Then I would be going back to the roots and restarting the tree.
Yeah, but then you might actually kill the roots as well. You don't know if it's going to start going backwards because
But I
what
don't
you've
know
done.
that will happen. Can you destroy energy? The future is
It
merely energy. It is a possibility. It does not exist yet.
But even then, energy can be exhausted. It can be changed from one state into another, and then if the thing that's there to change it back isn't there, then it doesn't come back. It just becomes this other thing completely. Or even then, if something goes wrong, it can be completely diverted. You're just as I am a fool messing with things beyond my comprehension. I at least understand out of some Socratic methodology that I know nothing.
I
therefore,
will not be questioned by one who has yet to live a single lifetime. I have spent hundreds of years perfecting this moment. I will not be talked down to by you, an insignificant child.
And there is the difference between you and I. I'm coming at this like an equal. You're coming at this like as if you are just some master of everything.
Not a master of everything, but I am more knowledgeable in this subject than you are. You are not valuable to me any longer. He snaps his fingers, and a couple of those little modrons return, and he just looks at him and says, show him out. And he goes back to his book.
Oh, by the way, did you manage to figure out the thing?
You will have to be much more specific than that. You are wearing on my nerves, so be concise. I will waste energy if necessary.
Well, who got into your room in the first place?
Seems unimportant now.
That'll actually start hobbling towards the modrons, and I'll just go, where can a guy get a peg leg?
The one the
This is to
modrons
them.
will bring you a crutch.
Thank you. I mean, I'm not exactly like that guy over there, but then this will do.
One of the Modrons will offer you its leg. For the record, that would be like the equivalent of sticking a spike into the stump. So not Andy doesn't recommend it, but then again, Andy doesn't recommend you do a lot of the things you do.
Let's do it.
Oh,
The
Okay.
moment of
this-
just like, no one told you to take the shot. You told yourself that.
I feel like this is a constitution to, more than a strength, because this make a strength and then a constitution.
Saves or checks.
Is a strength check a constitution save?
Strength check is 16. Constitution save is. Do you want to tell him, Jylith? Because you can see the roll.
I do.
How bad has he just screwed up?
It's quite the opposite, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's very much the opposite. That's a crit on there.
Okay, so you basically, even though you've just inserted a metal rod through the hollow part of your bone, and for the record, this is still painful. This is more
yeah.
painful than losing your foot the first time. This is all existence has gone white, except for this one thing that you're feeling. And in that moment, you kind of understand Grimthorn in that there's only one thing in the entire universe that matters, and that's the pain you're feeling. And even you don't fall over, but the moment passes, and you can, after you've had a proper rest, your normal speed will be restored to you. But you'll need at least one long rest before that'll happen.
In this one moment of pained clarity, I am going to hobble over to Grimthorn and give him a gentle pat on the shoulder before heading out.
What's your AC?
15.
Okay, before you can even touch him, you get hit by just a blast of raw power. This isn't meant to really hurt bad, so you're only going to take 1 point of damage, but you are knocked off your feet.
I'm just going to keep trying.
I want you to make I don't have an actual stat for this one. I want you to make, let's call it a charisma save.
I'm just having flashbacks back at Joseph on the boat when I heard the phrase, let's keep going. It's
I'm
just
going to use my trick roll.
Okay.
So that is a 39.
So you feel the power that should have teleported you to the other side of the world wash off of you. And he finally looks at you like actually you feel his attention on you. Perhaps you had more power within you than I realized.
I'm just going to lay my hand on his shoulder and I go, I hope it works out in the way that you want. I really do.
I promise that even though this world will die, it will be restored. Just stay out of my way. This is
I
your
just hope
last
that
warning.
I just hope at the end of it, you're actually happy. And then I'll walk away.
Okay.
Yeah, that is very much a Michael kind of moment, wasn't it?
yeah, it just that's I couldn't help but reflect on that.
We all bring a bit of ourselves to our characters. And this is why I get the feeling that it is a miracle that Cal hasn't been strangled by his wife yet. Yeah, Jesse, I'm just going to be honest. I'm surprised you're a functioning adult.
Thank you.
This comes from the how am I a functioning adult? So that's not really an
Well,
insult.
But for me, it's like in my adult life, I consider myself like still in bachelor mode, where the full weight of adulthood has not hit me yet. Billing wise, yes, but not in full. Like I have to take
Oh
care
yeah,
of.
I'm same here. Totally. I'm responsible for things like
It's
paying
like I have.
bills, taxes.
Yeah, I'm not reaching the point. It's like I have to take care of a lawn now. I must replace a sprinkler head.
Exactly. If
You
I
know,
do anything around the house, it's because it's easier for me to do it than wait for my brother to handle it because he's my
Yes.
landlord.
Mhm.
So I'm over here like buying a house is really complicated. I think I'll just rent forever. And then I realized I don't want to rent. Anyway, that's a totally different tangent.
Yes.
Joseph, you are eventually led out of this building. When you get outside, you're fairly certain you must have walked to another portal because when you look back at the building, it's completely collapsed.
One door closes, another door opens. And why is everybody always using? Why does everybody feel the need for pocket dimensions or just hiding things? I mean, part of the reason why crap goes so wrong is because nobody openly talks. And I'm talking to myself right here, or at least am I talking to the three little Modrons? Because at this point in time, if this is an existential crisis that Joseph is having, he at least wants an audience.
Well, the Modrons are not there, but there's a couple of really confused kids staring at you.
You probably won't even understand when you're an adult. But for right now, enjoy this time as much as you possibly can.
Okay.
Because
and they run off.
just going
You're
to
like
walk.
stick sword fighting as they run.
Just going to keep walking and just shaking my head, going, "Oh."
And by the way, walking for you is like ow, ow, ow. It's going to take that a little while to become a proper fixture. And dear God, if you hadn't rolled a 20, even that shouldn't have done it, but I'm feeling generous. You needed a peg leg anyway. Why not?
Yep.
Well, I'm here.
Use it to the bone. Oh,
Why don't we just take the most chaotic character and jam something from the most orderly constructs in the entire galaxy of D&D into him?
speaking of the most chaotic entity, let's jump back over to Gyleth.
Yes. I had a feeling that's where we'll be transitioning.
Well,
Now, Kyle, stop making that face. You know it's a toss-up between you and Jesse for who's most chaotic.
There is no competition between me and Jesse. It is Jesse.
I was going to say, just by the nature of chaos, you can't really quantify it to figure out who's the worst.
No, you can. You just all other variables become unmeasurable. So you can measure one thing, but everything else becomes immeasurable. And then when you quantum physics, I really need to shut up.
I'm to the point now. It's like, why don't you take a wizard class in the very beginning? Because you can really stretch this imagination.
Because then he will bring me actual
that's
diagrams for how things should work, and I will burn them from across the continent.
Because I literally just thought like he goes into like full on like minor illusion, explain everything street tree of ways of like how we should solve our problems, and then Giles just walks out the door.
Yeah, he has an expandable blackboard so that he can write out messages, and
Yeah.
like, hold on a minute, pulls out the instead of an expandable pole, it's an expandable blackboard that just takes off the wall.
Yeah, and it includes like a little school desk that Giles just sitting in, like just carving his name into the wood. And Giles, pay attention and throws a ruler.
no, it's actually a actual ruler. He's first Billy Giles.
I imagine this is a conversation that Vivi and Jonathan are just having to try to raise morale. Is just like, why isn't
Yeah.
Joseph a wizard? Since we can't
Yeah.
find a wizard, why do we make him a wizard?
Yeah. Anyway,
As
I'm gonna-
you're sitting at your table with a light lunch of cheese and
Yes.
crackers, which is really just stale bread
Yeah.
as opposed to crackers, but same
Mhm.
difference.
well,
No,
I think
it's worse than stale bread. It's raw hardtack.
No, we're not that organized in the
Just
castle.
saying,
Your
I'm
chef
gonna-
didn't come
we
with
would
you.
have to export that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to that room. I wanted to check it out. There might be some, might have left some clues there. Like he could have portaled it away, dimensional travel and stuff like that. You know how it is.
Indeed.
But I want to make sure nothing's afoot. And if there's nothing there, or at least I can see nothing there, we'll go from there. How's that sound?
Indeed.
I didn't fully follow everything, but just tell me what it is you're going to do.
I am going to go back to what the wizard's room is and see if there's any arcane disturbances and stuff like that. See if there's
Okay.
anything.
Sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Just double checking something. Vivi is going to. Vivi is going to go in there, and he's going to cast detect magic.
Okay. You don't detect any magic.
Shit. So that fear out the window.
I will say that you do feel the remnants of magic, but they're not in this room.
Huh.
But it's like a thread.
That's weird. But also, that's my fear at the window. Where the hell did this room go? He goes, Mr. Jarlath. Well, that's that theory out the window, and there's nothing seems to be missing apart from the room itself.
Well, my only theory I can imagine, actually two theories. Either since everything was changed and he hightailed it and run, or as the tale I keep hearing about is a wizard appears when he means to. So he makes his own doors, and he appears when he wants.
Ah, that makes sense.
And this kind of wizard is one of those ones where his door doesn't have a doorbell.
Maybe we should create a doorbell. I know I probably don't have that sort of power. Like, did you have still connection to the thing? Can you imagine a doorbell for it? I don't know. It seems to be like whatever you think happens.
Give me a moment.
We've already established that your power is connected to your wisdom.
Yes.
So make me a wisdom check.
Of course.
I feel like
cast
this
guidance.
time we actually do want high because you're trying to will the manifestation.
Yeah. It's
I cast guidance.
it's being powered by sheer willpower.
Yes.
All right, that'll be a 14.
14.
Is that including the guidance?
Oh, I'll throw a guidance in there.
Yeah.
I think hard.
Yes.
16 with that guidance.
16, nothing's happening. We are getting near the end of our time. If you want to use your trick roll for this, or if you want to save it for something
Sure,
else.
I'll add a trick roll. All right, times 3.
Okay, yeah, that puts it up to like 48.
Mhm.
So yes, Gilith, Vivi, that thread of magic that you can see because of the detect magic,
Yeah.
it becomes stronger. It becomes like a yarn of magical power. It goes out to not the door, but the wall that Giles is looking at, and a door with a doorbell appears.
Good job, Joseph. And he walks up, presses the
You better
doorbell.
push that doorbell. I don't know how long I have a connection.
Presses the doorbell.
Ding dong. And like, just a moment. The door opens. It's Binbag the Wizard. Oh, this is very unusual. Are you having a migraine?
I am concentrating.
I thought you were about
Okay.
to say constipated.
That as well.
If he did a critical fail, then yes, then that would happen. But the shadow being have a sense of humor.
Yes.
Yeah. We have an issue, and we need to speak to someone who knows what's going on.
Well, I am a member of the Order of Mighty Wizards.
Take a look at the towers. They are draining. They seem to be draining the magic from the world. We have
He
no idea
sticks
what.
his head out the door like, you're in the Shadowfell.
Yes.
Not right. Not yeah. We're not here. Not here. Also, no one I felt odd. Ugh. Odd. I haven't been here.
Get to the point.
Yeah. Sorry. We need to speak to. What was that? What's his name? Sorry, but I
Binbag.
no. Grimthorn.
One moment, he shuts the door.
If we ever get
opens
into
up, there's no
negotiations, you are
Grimthorn
never going to
here.
be my speaker.
Huh?
There's no Grimthorn here.
Huh? Do you know where he is?
I've never met a Grimthorn.
Oh, the wizard who. Do you mind? You can open portals. Like, can you step through the door so we can at least speak about him getting an aneurysm?
Okay, he shuts the door behind him, pulls out a key, locks it, tucks the key away.
You're good, Jareth.
Right. I imagine just like
The door stays.
With
With a 48, the door is probably permanent.
Yeah, but he did with Giants. He seems like he must concentrate because if he looks away, it will drop.
Oh, I
Yeah.
understand the Gilith. I just said that I think you just create a permanent door until
Yeah.
until chaos takes it away again.
The way I see it, Giants doesn't know how well he did.
The way I see it, Andy doesn't know what's going to happen next session. So
Vivi is going to explain the situation to Binbag and why we need he speaks to this. Was it Grimthorn?
his name is Grimthorn, but
Yeah.
Binbag does not know any wizards named Grimthorn.
Uh,
Now, not
well-
all wizards join the Order of Mighty Wizards, but we are here to set adventurers on their path.
Well, we have a quest to find Grimthorn. Could you set us on our way?
Oh, well, this didn't really come through my offices, but I suppose we can. I can get you some forms to fill out, and we can get that request in.
How long will the process take?
Oh, 6, 8 years.
Well, if
We have a backlog of quests.
well, in all fairness, if we don't get this quest done promptly, the whole dimension is going to be probably the whole play. The main plane of existence is going to be sucked dry. So no real quest for you.
I want you. I know you believe this, so make a persuasion check.
I am going to use my trick roll.
Okay.
What's good? That's it. That is 16 times 3.
Okay.
Sense a
40
pattern here.
Yeah. He thinks about it for a second. It's like, well, I suppose. I mean, I do need to go and send somebody after the Tarrasque on another world. So I do need to wrap this up. And if we are taking okay. And he was like, he pulls out a scroll and begins to read from it. By the order of the mighty order of wizards, I hereby send you on a quest. Adventurers, adventure awaits. And the portal opens in front of you.
Thank you, Jesse. Oh, Jyleth? Sorry. Wait.
Moving on.
There was that moment where the metaverse just sort of fracture
Yeah,
with all these spells.
I remember there's such a moment. Jesse appeared next to Jyleth and just pure. He just went away.
Chaos returns to the castle.
It was Jesse in the well all along. So that's where the pure chaos comes from.
To be fair, that is going to become one of my mechanics now. And
can't top that.
Ben
I
Bag is
can't-
just kind of standing there.
Yeah, that's-
Adventure awaits.
Wait, sorry. My friend's having a moment. I will eventually any minute now.
Make
This
way.
is-
And you run through the portal.
Yes.
And I want you both to make dexterity saves.
Gladly.
At disadvantage, you'll understand in a moment why.
Gladly. 1.
17.
Okay, Gyleth did go first, so we're gonna do
Yes.
this in reverse order though. Vivi, you hear the clatter and you dive and you go over as Gyleth stumbles into Joseph, knocking him to the ground.
Oh, that's bad. I am so glad I never decided to pick Spike's armor when I was asked to pick my armor.
That would have been really
It was
funny
a
for me.
thought. It was a thought. So glad I didn't go that thought months ago. Because I would have just impaled Joseph on my plate. And it's like, oh, sorry.
You know, when I was coming up with this idea, I asked, how am I going to get all these guys reconnected? And then I realized that's not my problem. Because leaving out on the cliffhanger of two of you trapped in the Shadowfell while Joseph is bleeding out underneath a tower would have been hilarious. You know, from the Chris Perkins point of view.
Yeah. I would hate to be that moment. Like, we're just trying to get this town connected. It's like, how's Joseph doing?
No, it's just pretty much at this point. How's Joseph doing?
Well, to be fair, you were stumbling on your new peg leg when a Gyleth comes running at full speed into you. I
Just like
feel
old
that there
times.
might have been some liquefication of organs. The unimportant ones, the ones you don't need
Like-
that much.
like
No,
you
it's
came down,
just a spleen. I don't need that.
Yeah.
Vivi looks down. You came down there.
Are you talking to me or him? Because if it's
Both.
him, he's obviously okay. It's
I-
Gyleth. You could hit him with a brick. You could hit him with a brick baseball bat, and he would be fine.
So-
Me on the other hand,
Let's test that theory. He pulls out a brick with. He's like,
Oh, no.
Yeah, you just reach through the portal before it closes. Here's the
Did
brick
you just
bat.
grab a brick from the castle walls?
No, I've actually several. So it's actually a baseball bat made of bricks.
Yes, it actually. And right as he pulls it through, the portal closes up, so you can't do that again.
Like technically, it's a quarter star, so I can't shillelagh on it.
Giles not going to question it. He's just going to pick himself up and while also picking Joseph up.
It's about the same size as its quarter star. Think for a moment. Cast shillelagh on the brick baseball bat.
I'm going to let you keep that
That
as a
was-
permanent weapon.
This better be Science Stick Part 2.
No, this is not Science Stick Part 2. This is just taking a joke and running with it as long as you can till the horse is beaten dead on the floor, splattered.
That's right. This is the running gag stick.
Yes.
Bad Vivi, bad.
And
nice.
that's where we're going to end the adventure
Yes.
for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the season 2 finale. We will be taking a break from the main story until after I get back from Satine's Quest in January. That's right. I get to spend 4 days hanging out with a whole bunch of other geeks and nerds in a mansion doing some live action D&D stuff. I don't
Awesome.
know what's going to happen, but it's probably going to be pretty wild.
I come.
You missed your window, pal.
Yeah, they're not selling tickets anymore. And
Oh.
also, I'm not going to ship you FedEx over here. I
That's my
can't afford to
job.
pay you guys for this. You think I'm going to pay you to fly across the country?
Although I'm pretty sure Andy would just have his heart stop. He's at he's just at the mansion, and it's like package for Andy, and you open up, and it just comes out, and just like a foot comes out. It's like, Andy, help!
I'm going to like return to sender.
Too late now. Like,
Oh,
You
You
can't
have-
do this.
too late now. Archers is here.
okay. I'll bring a large empty suitcase to bring you back home with after the trip.
Oh,
Send it
boy.
back. No.
I've been in weirder positions.
And moving on from that topic.
Yes.
We might do something else this month because I'm feeling really good. I'm good. Here's a personal moment for Andy. And Andy doesn't really like December too much for reasons. But this month I'm feeling great. And I'm really happy about that. And I missed this after being away from a month because you people had lives that were more important than the fictional game we were all playing. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
no, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I
This,
didn't.
yeah, you were the one who was there for me, Arceus. You're my boy, Blue.
You're my
No,
boy,
but no, this was a blast, and I have so many more ideas for things that are happening. I don't know what's going to happen in this game because why bother planning for more than 5 minutes when you guys? So I'm babbling now because we're at the end of this, and I don't want it to end because
Yes.
it's not ending. We're just moving into a new phase of the story.
Yes.
But you guys, you have lives outside of this game, as we've established. So,
No, I didn't.
Arceus, we're not going to talk about what you're doing in real life because you don't have a life, apparently. We'll start with the
No,
guys below me.
No, only the lives I take on my weekends.
Okay. I mean, look, you can't brag about being a hitman. It sort of undoes the point. It's like saying
Shit,
I'm the
shit.
world's most famous spy. Then quit telling
Shit.
people you're a spy. Like,
Hey, shit, you're right.
yeah.
Mental note: kill Andy.
Wait, no. Freaking Arceus is in East London. He's not a hitman. He's a freaking serial killer.
You're not supposed to brag about that either. I mean, only with select groups. And guess what? Live on the internet is not the right group.
Yeah, my serial killer name is Jake the Nipper.
Okay, do you want to tell us where we can actually find you on the internet before the authorities track you down?
Like,
Before Interpol shows up, where can people find you doing other things on the internet?
you can find me with my own personal brand of chaos. I was here every Sunday playing Vivi, and on alternative Sundays playing a different kind of chaos in Alex Tresp in my Vampire Requiem. You can also find me on Twitter at Archers of Treff, or if you want to start following my the film production company I'm trying to set up, you can follow me at braincell_dead. You can also find me on Discord if you want to chat, if you think you can handle 5 minutes of my insanity one-on-one.
And speaking of insanity, let's go straight on to Jesse.
It's like before I start, I just imagine like Archie, if you just started like so yes, like I'm like over on like on any of my sources, and if you would like to hire me for any of the sort,
Why am I not surprised you have one of those on hand?
Short story, I'm a floor director, so if like
Hey,
if an anchor's not paying attention,
No,
they see this.
That is the that is actually the most professional prop I've seen you use yet.
like
Because
I-
it's
I-
actually
I-
something professional.
I
like,
know
well,
that's
I,
shocking, isn't it?
I got permission from my supervisor to use it because there's times where like I need you to move to this side of the set and they're just on their iPads and I'm just like why they're not moving, and so I got permission to bring out this.
Yeah.
So just like if you see
Yeah.
this,
You know,
Yeah,
one day I just want you to let me know if there's ever a job opening there because
well, there's technically is, but we'll talk about that later. So
yeah, let's not
I-
do that live on the internet.
anyway, I'm Jesse Crump, also known as Crump64, and in many forms of the internet. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram. Those are the socials I am most active on. And when we can properly assemble, as the usual curse of D&D, where we go through schedulings. So I have run a group called the Lovely Lady Crumps. It is an all-female cast. We are going through the adventures of D&D, and recently we have hit on the world of Ravnica, which is, if you're unfamiliar with it, it is the realm of Magic the Gathering.
hey,
So they have gone from Sword Coast to space to Ravnica. And I'm surprised they still deal with this level of chaos. So anyway, so you can find me on twitch.tv/crump64. And if anything, I am a man of nonsense on socials. Follow me there.
I just want to say one thing. I don't always get to tune into Lovely Lady Crumps because, schedules and all. But I
Yeah.
just want to say that if I've ever seen a group that can really put Jesse through his paces, it's them. Because whenever I tune in, it's usually him trying to not even trying to get control. They're just like, I tune in for 5 minutes, like, what the living hell have I just walked into?
That's a good way to say about
Yeah.
my sessions.
I've gotten to play with a few of them. I love them all, even if I haven't
Yes.
met them. I just want to make that clear. They're delightful.
Yeah,
but
they
Yes,
are. They are.
Lick!
but they are just you can tell that Jesse is a part of that. And if the DM is like in my case, I'd like to think I'm a fairly chaotic DM, but you guys up that by order of magnitude. Same thing there. There's Jesse's normal level of chaos, and then there's player chaos. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Kyle, who are you? Why are you here? Where are you from? And how can we get rid of you?
You can never get rid of
Me.
me. You
my-
can only
my-
you can only merge me like as if I am some Digimon that gets super merged with Jesse, and therefore will become some greater entity in being of chaos
Making a
and
note.
creativity.
or you can hire me. My rates are quite reasonable.
You are actually closer to him than any of us geographically. Hold on a minute. Fuse, Jesse, and Kyle. I'm making that note. Okay.
Okay. I'm a Twitch streamer as well. You can catch me here every other Sunday. You can also catch me running Vampire the Requiem for Arshes and Andy. As well as on Monday nights, I run Beyond the Spine, which is a podcast about other RPG systems and games with our fellow player Nick, who is part of my Vampire the Requiem game. Other than that, during the weekdays, if I am streaming, I'm doing MechWarrior Online. You can catch me with several of the other Twitch streamers who do that. You can follow me on Twitch and Twitter at FlintEwood756. And you can catch me on pretty much those on YouTube as well under the same moniker.
And
Yeah.
last and most definitely least, I am the organizer of all this chaos. I am Mr. Films. You can call me Warped. You can call me Andy. You can call me anything if you're paying me enough. I'm actually not that picky. No, but
they must resist temptations.
yeah, watch it, Archus. Because you know what? That portal can open up again and BB can just be gone.
No.
I'm Andy. I'm Warp Films. You know that because you're on my channel right now. I am always so happy I get to be driven insane by these guys, and it's so nice when I can return the favor once in a while. We actually just last night started releasing a new show. Is currently on the YouTube channel and my Patreon. It is called Warlords of Avernus. Jesse joins us for that, and it's a Jesse character. So I want to say, like, what to expect, but at the same time, you don't know what you're getting into.
I have to
There's
say,
a, there, there's
just as a note behind the
little
scenes,
teaser of what kind of things I bring to the table.
Hire this man.
You're okay.
Bring this man into your games. You will regret it, but you won't regret it.
Jesse, speaking of affordable rates, Jesse also does bar mitzvahs.
No.
Hey, like,
You make me sound like I'm a clown for hire.
No,
you're not.
You are an artiste for hire. You're
But of course, yes.
now sometimes that does take the form of you putting on makeup.
Just don't bring them out to you. Just don't bring them over to your bris.
Guys, yeah. Oh dear God, that's an image I don't need in my head. Okay, before I go do something that's going to wipe this memory, which is now necessary. Warlords of Avernus. The first episode is out for free. The second one is available on my Patreon for any of the subscribers. Find me through my socials. We'll send you the links. New episodes are going to become public every week as the new episode that I edit becomes available for Patreon. And if you'll want to play more games with me, what's wrong with you? But secondly, I am going to be trying to do more other games. I just found Big Eyes Small Mouth. It's the Tri-Stat system, and I'm definitely unleashing some supervillain chaos in the near future. So drop me a line if you want to play more games with me, because there's more coming, and it's not all going to be D&D chaos. It's going to be whatever random chaos you can assemble with 99 points.
That's a challenge accepted.
That being said, we're going to wrap it up here. Again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. It is delightful. I hope to be back around the middle of January, but we're going to see how schedules line up before we make anything official. I think that's all the babbling I can do. Farewell, everybody.